is Rebecca with another book today, and it is called Finding Winnie.
The true story of the world's most famous bear.
Which is so cute.
Yeah, and you know what? It looks nothing like Winnie the Pooh, so I'm curious about this.
It's another Winnie.
I don't think so. I mean, bear, Winnie? Let's find out. Oh, look, right there it says before Winnie the Pooh, there was a real bear named Winnie. Let's find out.
Could you tell me a story at school? It's actually late.
It's awfully late.
It's awfully late.
It was long past dark and time to be asleep.
What kind of story? You know what your story. What about bear? Get cuddled up close. I'll do my best, I said.
It's feeling familiar. A very long time ago, about 100 years before you were born, there was a veterinarian who lived in Winnipeg. His name was Harry Colburn. A vegetarian? Said Cole. Bears doesn't like vegetables. A veterinarian. It means an animal doctor. I know that, Cole said. That's what I'm going to maybe be when I'm big. If a horse had the hiccups, or a cow had a cough, Harry knew how to make them feel just right. Harry's hands were never cold, even in Winnipeg, where winters are so frosty that icicles grow on the sides of your nose. That was just the kind of doctor he was.
The horse is so pretty.
It is.
I want it to be brown.
But a day came when Harry had to say goodbye to Winnipeg. There was a far war, far away, beyond the end of the country, and on the other side of the ocean, and he was going to help. He would be caring for the soldiers' horses. Harry rode east on a train full of other soldiers. He leaned his head against the window, watching the land scroll by, wondering what it would be like to be so far from home.
I don't want to know.
The train rolled through dinner and over the sunset and around 10 o'clock and into a nap and out of the next day until it stopped at a place called White River.
This is cool.
Harry decided to stretch his legs. What?
This is cool because like when you're in, it's nighttime, but when you go out, it's morning. And
It's a cool illustration.
morning, day, morning.
But it matches with the sentence. The train rolled right through dinner and over the sunset and around 10 o'clock and into nap and out the next day. On the train platform was a man on a bench with a baby. A baby, said Cole, annoyed. A baby bear. A cub. Harry stopped. It's not every day that you see a bear cub at a train station. That bear has lost its mother, he thought, and that man must be the trapper who got her. What do trappers do? Asked Cole. It's what trappers don't do. They don't raise bears. Raise them? You know, I said. Love them. Harry thought for a long time. Then he said to himself, there is something special about that bear. He felt inside his pocket and said, I shouldn't. He paced back and forth and said, I can't. Then his heart made up his mind, and he walked up to the trapper and said, I'll give you $20 for that bear. Is $20 a lot? Asked Cole. Back then, I said. Even more than a lot. Captain Colburn, said the colonel on the train, as the little bear sniffled at his knees. We're on a journey of thousands of miles heading into the thick of battle, and you propose to bring this most dangerous creature?
It's not dangerous for you.
Bear stood straight up on her hind legs as if to salute the colonel. The colonel stopped speaking at once.
The colonel.
And then, in quite a different voice, he said, "Oh, hello." The men of Harry's regiment squeezed by to have a look. "I've decided to name her Winnipeg," Harry told them, "so we'll never be far from home. Winnie for short." Oh, they're soldiers. They're all so different.
And that's so sad.
Exactly. They had a very long way to travel. And they had already gone 3 or 4 feet when Winnie grew hungry. What do bears eat? The men wondered. What don't they eat? Said Harry. Vegetables, Cole reminded me. Winnie ate vegetables, I said. She ate everything, except onions. They brought her carrots and potatoes and apples and tomatoes and eggs and beans and bread, and a tin of fish and some slop in a dish, but Winnie was still hungry. How about dessert? Said Harry, holding up a bottle of condensed milk. Taking the treat in her paws, Winnie lay on her back and hummed a happy song as she drank. The men roared.
Laugh?
Yeah, like roaring with laughter. Excuse me. Harry and Winnie gathered with soldiers from all over Canada in the green fields of Valcartier.
I want a pet bear.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
It's a
I hope I pronounced that right. Valcartier. A whole city of tents had sprung up there. One was a hospital for horses where Harry went to work. Winnie was in the army now. Harry taught her to stand up straight and hold her head high and turn this way and that, just so. Soon she was assigned her own post. Even the colonel agreed that Winnie was a remarkable bear. She might have been the best navigator in the whole army. If you hid something, could she find it? She could. What if it was farther away and farther still? Remarkable, he cried. In the evenings, both of them were too tired to move. When Harry thought about Winnie and the voyage across the ocean, his head said, I shouldn't. His head said, I can't. But his heart made up his mind. Nobody has ever tried to float so many people and animals across the Atlantic Ocean before. 30 ships sailed together carrying about 36,000 men and about 7,500 horses and about one bear named Winnie. Cute. When they finally arrived in England, the regiment went to training on the Salisbury Plain, where it rained and rained and rained, but Winnie didn't seem to mind. She was the mascot of the 2nd Canadian Infantry Brigade and attended her post with vigor. One day, Harry came running while she was doing her exercises in the tent. You'll bring the whole place down, he said, with a laugh. She had grown. It was winter when the order came. The time had come to fight. Winnie posed proudly with the men for the pictures sent home to their families. Harry thought for a long time. His head argued one way and then another, but his heart made up his mind. He went to Winnie and said in a serious way, "There's somewhere we need to go." Winnie brushed the mud off her nose and nuzzled in close. Harry drove all the way to the big city. That's called Stonehenge. It's really cool. I've never been there, but I need to go, and I'm going to go there with you. "Here we are," said Harry, "the London Zoo." Harry took a deep breath. "Winnie, this is going to be your home for a while," he said. She tilted her head. "We're shipping out to France," he explained. "I have to take care of the horses at the front." She rested her big head against him. "I know you want to come, but it's not safe." Winnie's head bowed. Harry's hands were warm as sunshine, as usual. "There is something you must always remember," Harry said. "It's the most important thing, really. Even if we're apart, I'll always love you. You'll always be my bear." "Is that the end?" "That's the end of Harry and Winnie's story," I said. "But I don't want it to be over," said Cole. "Sometimes," I said, "you have to let one story end so the next one can begin." "How do you know when that will happen?" "You don't," I said, "which is why you should always carry on." Once upon a time, there was a little boy with a stuffed bear. He'd had his bear since he was a baby, but somehow the boy had never found the right name for him. He tried Teddy and Edward and even Big Bear. One day the boy went to visit the London Zoo with his father, and there was a bear. A real bear on the terrace there. Right away the boy thought, there is something special about that bear. Her name was Winnie. They became true friends, and the boy was allowed to come right inside her enclosure to play. Once the boy had found Winnie, he knew just what to call his stuffed bear. He named it Winnie the Pooh. And the boy was called Cole, said Cole. His name was Christopher Robin Milne. Christopher Robin would visit Winnie at the zoo, and then he would take the stuffed animal on all sorts of adventures in the woods behind his home. His father, Alan Alexander Milne, wrote books all about them. Man, I'm tired. His father, Alan Alexander Milne, wrote books all about them. Harry's Winnie became Winnie the Pooh, and there have never been a more beloved bear. But what about Harry? Cole asked. When Harry visited Winnie at the zoo, he saw how happy she was. She was being raised. She was truly loved. And that was all he had ever wanted from the moment he met her at the train station in White River. So after the war, Harry returned to Winnipeg and his life as an animal doctor. Before long, he was married and had a son named Fred. And Fred had a daughter named Laureen, and Laureen had a daughter named Lindsay, which is me. And then I had a son. When I saw you, I thought, there is something special about this boy. So I named you after your great-grandfather, Captain Harry Colburn. I named you Cole.
He came back with one leg.
Yeah, that was a serious war. And this is their family tree.
Yeah. This is her. This is her. This is him.
Yeah. That's me? Said Cole in a whisper. That's you. And that's Winnie? Yes, I said, that's Winnie. And it's all true?
Wait, that's Winnie then.
Sometimes the best stories are, I said. Cole's eyes grew big and he said nothing for a long time. Then he hugged his bear close and let out a yawn that reached far away, and they both turned over and fell asleep.
It was an album the whole time.
The end. This was long. Thank you for listening. It was really a good story, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's the true story. Have a great night, everybody.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right on.